So let's move forward na siguro sa next item, but I think I'll be skipping some of this kasi yung concept same lang din naman. So number 4 is we have a volume in a certain surface na buo siya, di ba? Now this one, there is a common region between this. So I'll try to browse over the other problems and I will pick out the equation na maganda. So itong 5 and 6, almost the same sila kasi meron tayong equation na nagbinabound nung dalawang meron tayong mga equations na may common area. So I think mas maganda yung number 6. I'll be doing number 6 and 7 siguro dito, and then let's see to it kung ano pa yung pwede nating solve dito na medyo complicated, and I want to leave the other problems for you para ma-practice kayo. Kasi mahirap pag ako lang nasa-solve lahat. Di kayo baka makampante kayo sa sa problems. Now let us solve for number 6, and in this problem, we're asked to solve for the volume of the solid revolved around the y-axis for the curve y squared is equal to ln of x plus 3. So this is kind of a complicated equation, and bounded by lines x equal to 5 and x minus 3y is equal to 2. So kung mapansin nyo yung line, the first line is a vertical line, and then the second one is actually a diagonal one. So we have a hint, use a calculator. So dito kasi hindi natin to kaya ma-integrate directly talaga. So we really have to use calculator. I'll be going back to GeoGebra para i-graph lahat ng mga curves na to so that we can visualize it perfectly, no? So kita nyo na ngayon yung ating figure. Okay, so yan. And the volume that we need to determine right here is the volume that is intercepted by the three equations. So diba this one is this is the parang principal equation natin, that's y squared is equal to ln x plus 3, and then the boundaries are actually this line and of course this green line, the brown and the green. So technically we're looking at this volume. So itong volume na to yung hinahanap natin. So hopefully gets, lumabas tayo. So itong volume na to yung hinahanap natin. Okay? Kasi bounded siya nito at saka nito. Okay. And then we will try to revolve this about the y-axis. So yan. So imagine nyo kung i-revolve natin siya dyan, parang i-mirror lang natin yung mangyayari dyan. So, wait. At medyo mahirap-hirap ito. Parang ganyan lang siya, no? So, yan. And then, somewhere here. Yan. So, parang ito yung magiging niya. Itsura niya. So, parang ganyan yung kanyang volume. Parang may basin something na parang funnel. Ewan. So, yan yung magiging figure niya. Okay, so, let's label na lang siguro yung mga equations natin. So, pwede man palabasin dito pero sulat ko para mas maganda. So, y squared is equal to ln of x plus 3, and then we have this line is x minus 3y is equal to 2, and then this is y or x is equal to 5. And then check ko lang ulit kung y-axis kasi baka mali ako. Okay, so y-axis nga natin siya i-revolve. So ayan. So we already have this construction, and what do we do next? So again, sabi nga natin lagi, you choose the strip that will employ the least number of areas that you could have, or the least volume. Kasi pag ginawa ko ngayon is, let's try drawing a vertical strip here. So I can have the vertical strip all throughout, and then notice na yung ating vertical strip would just have all the parang upper portion of the vertical strip, and then is the curve y squared is equal to ln x plus 3, and then yung lower portion ng vertical strip would always be this x minus 3y is equal to 2. So lagi siyang ganon, no? So with that, I think that is a good option for us, but hindi yun enough, no? We have to make sure na upon setting it up sa ating equation or dun sa ating figure, madali siyang ma-integrate. So knowing that this is the vertical strip is parallel to the axis of revolution, so we'll be utilizing the formula v is equal to 2 pi elevated from c to d but we will be using p of x and then g of x and then dx. So why is it x? X siya kasi we're using the vertical strip. So kung siya ay vertical strip, this is your dx, okay? And this is your delta y, okay? So what would be our delta y in this case, or your g of x? So your g of x is simply the distance between these two values, and that is simply the difference between your ln of x plus 3 and then in terms of x lahat sila. So yung equation 1, we still have to redefine this in terms of square root of ln of x plus 3 para maging equal lang siya sa y. Okay, and then this curve, it should be redefined in terms of something like 2. You could have x minus 2 all over 3 that is equal to y. So, dapat ganyan yung ating magiging equation para magamit natin yung dalawang y values para pure function sila ng x. So, okay tayo sa g of x, that would be the upper curve minus the lower curve. So, ano ba ating upper curve? So, we have the square root of ln of x plus 3, and we subtract x minus 2 all over 3. So that's your g of x. And how about your p of x? So again, sabi ko nga before, p of x is the distance from the axis of revolution to that the strip that you've drawn or the element that you've drawn. So kung halimbawa, ito yung take natin na distance, what could be that distance? Kung halimbawa, ito namang sa strip na to, what could be that distance from the y-axis? So, diba, that will always be x no matter what happens, no matter what element that you select. So, that will always be x. Knowing that your axis of revolution is from the y-axis. So, with this, your p of x is simply x. And then, we're down with the last unknown, that is the limit of, or those are the limits of integration. So, the only way that we can deal with this is to determine, of course, yung ating point here, and of course, ano ba yung point na kailangan pa natin. So, di ba dapat x value sila? So, the x value is here, and then the x value right here. So, the x value right here can be determined by the intersection of this line, the green line, which is x equal to 5, and then, sorry, this is ano pala, 5 na. So, 5 na to. Meron na pala siya. So, 5 yan. And then, ano ba to? So, we need to find the intersection between these 2 points, curve. So, with this, you could just equate that. So, we could have yung ating values nung y. So, x minus 2 over 3 squared, that is equal to ln of x plus 3. So, therefore, your x, I'll be using my calculator to determine the value of your unknown in this case para hindi tayo magpakahirap yan malaman, di ba? May calculator naman. So the answer, there could be, I don't know, there could be more than one answer, but I'll be picking out the answer that is closest to 0. So that's 0.075, 145. So store ko siya sa calculator para para hindi tayo magkaroon ng discrepancy sa sagot natin. Okay. So this is your lower limit. So we could say that this is your C and this is your D. Okay? So sabi ko nga yung mga designation natin ng letters dito, it doesn't matter anyway kasi kasi yun is lang, depende lang yun sa inyo. Basta you have to make sure na kung vertical strip ang gagamitin, lagi tayong in terms of x. Kung horizontal strip, lagi tayong in terms of y. Pero the construction of the volume or the equation that you'll be using for the volume depends on the relationship of this element with the horizontal with the axis of revolution. Okay. Needed to go back to this problem dun sa una natin pala sa volume, itong number 6. Kasi I just noticed na di ko to napansin, overlook ko rin. Kaya pala hindi tayo nagkaroon ng saktong sagot dito sa handout. Kasi if you'd be looking here, sabi ko before, all throughout this region, yung upper curve natin, and then dun sa baba nitong strip na to would always be the y squared is equal to ln x plus 3 equation, and then the other one is x minus 3y is equal to 2. Sabi ko all throughout. But then again, I just noticed somewhere here, mapapansin nyo, if you try to draw a vertical strip around here, can you notice that yung part nitong blue equation natin is actually parang mas on the left pa. Kaya dito sa portion na to, or dito sa portion na to, hindi na siya nagmi-meet dun sa ating criteria na lahat dun sa portion na to is yung upper curve niya is yung blue, and then yung lower niya is brown, which is actually dun sa portion na to is yung itself na, so parang ganyan siya, no? Kung i-zoom natin, ganyan siya. Sorry, ganito pala. Okay? So, if you try to draw a vertical strip around here, hanggang dito lang siya. Pero ito, if you try to draw a vertical strip, that's the upper curve of the same curve, and then the lower curve. So, ito yung na hindi ko agad napansin before. So, one way to check this is to determine the value of your x when y is equal to 0. Kasi diba, papansin nyo dito, this is along the x-axis, so that is y is equal to 0. And when we do this, so if we set this equal to 0, and this is ln of x plus 3, we could see that the value will give us, of course, kakakalkyo ko na siya, and then the value of x would be equal to 0.049787, so yun yung value niya. And if you try to compare this value with the limit, that is the intersection of this one, 0.075, diba, mas siya, mas close siya sa 0, which proves our yung fact na hindi talaga siya all throughout is below none. So we have to add another area here, which is actually 2 pi times, so ito na gagamit natin limit, yung 0.049787 going to this point of intersection. So that's 0.049787 0683, and then 0.0751457. Now this is a very very liit na area lang. Akala ko kasi before kamali lang ako sa rounding off, pero this is actually kasama talaga siya. So ayun. So this is the upper lower limit. And then what is the equation? So syempre equation natin, 'di ba? We could see it from here na this is y is equal to square root of ln x plus 3, but that is actually plus or minus. So from this idea, we know that yung ating difference, 'di ba? We're using the shell method. So we still have x for the distance for the p of x, but yung g of x natin would be the difference between these 2 points. So that is actually positive ln of x plus 3, and then you subtract the negative, so that is plus square root of ln of x plus 3, which makes this 2 square root of ln x plus 3. So ganun yung ating magiging equation for this. Okay, and this, so ito na-evaluate na natin to before. The value for this is around 123.9366959. And then if you add this part, kasi this is very small, that's 9.19476 times 10 to the negative 3. And this, the sum of these two gives us yung exact value natin in the handout, which is 123.9459 cubic units. Okay? So, i-correct ko lang yung na-record or nakita nyo kanina na may kulang pa doon na sobrang konting area lang, pero importante kasi siyang makita natin kasi this is a very tricky part here na overlook ko rin siya. Okay, so yun. Kaya importante talaga na ginagraph nyo siya, kasi pag hindi, edi yun, baka malampasan din kayo ng part na yun. Okay, so yun, ganun din yung letter B. So meron din siyang additional. So let's find it again. So 'di ba, it's revolve about the the x-axis. So I think we could pero i-retain ko tong 0.049 kasi we'll be using this. So gawin natin ngayon siya na x sub 3. This is x sub 3. So x sub 3 is equal to 0.0499787 0683. Para babalikan natin siya later. So we can remove this, okay? And then Diba, sabi natin dun sa kanina, we revolve this about the x-axis and then we use the vertical strip again kasi madali naman to. Though ngayon kasi dalawa ng areas din, dalawang volume na rin yung kinukuha natin. Kasi kanina kaya ako rin di kasi parang isa lang to pero dalawa rin pala siya. Anyway, so at least dito natin, simple lang naman siya. Okay, so diba before we have v is equal to 2 pi, pi kasi this is perpendicular na siya. So ano nga ulit yun? 0.0751457 and then we have 5 here. Tapos that is ln of x plus 3 na. Ma-minus ngayon natin yung ating saan ba yun? X minus 2 over 3 pero this one is squared and then dx. Okay? That is the disk method. But you also have to add yung ating pi evaluated from 0.04978 7068 3 to 0.0751457. And now since this is kung mapapansin nyo, this is the x-axis and we're forming a disk in this case, so we just need to find the equation and that's square root of ln x plus 3. So we have square root of ln of x plus 3 and then we square this and you could have dx in this case. So ito yung dapat na sagot natin for the next problem, which in this case I think ang nadagdag lang naman sa kanya is itong latter portion. So that's pi. So ulitin na lang natin. So we have, ito yung unang sagot natin, 52.8644. So that's for the first volume. And then for the second one, so we have pi. And then the integral from, okay, and then that's the square of ln of x plus 3. So matatanggal na yung ating, ano dyan, yung ating radical sign. Kasi disk lang naman siya, so mas square lang siya. Okay, and this is 0.01752027. So 0.01752027 cubic units. So the total volume about the if this solid is revolve about the x-axis would be adding this with 52.8644. So that should be 52.819 cubic units. So ayun, na-incorporate ko siya sa first problem pero nakalimutan ko rin siya sa second. So anyway, that should be your answer. So paki-correct na lang nito, that should be, saan ba yun? This one, that should be 52.8819 cubic units. Okay, so ayan, para kita nyo ng mas maigi. So that is your answer for this problem, for number 6 and 7. Hopefully ay nag-guess nyo dun. So at least nagkaroon tayo ng dalawang volumes na nakita. Kasi ang wino-worry ko kanina, isa lang yung kinocompute natin volume. Pero buti na lang may ganun pa lang. Sobrang liit na. Almost din na napansin. Pero let's move forward.